Welcome. I am a Probot, developed by Protel's serotonin team. I am automatizing works that are standardized daily and doesn't require any human decision, finalizing those works and sending email confirmations to you. Today, I will transfer the checks of the orders those have renewed contracts or recently sold products. Due to LPPD law, we pixelizated the personal informations on the computer screen. Let's begin.
The operation we need to perform is to transfer the checks of orders and contracts created in Microsoft Dynamics CRM to the Logo accounting software. Previously, the users were manually re-entering the same document information to the accounting software after it was first entered to Microsoft Dynamics CRM. Currently, we automated this process by Probot. The robot transfers checks from Microsoft Dynamics CRM to the accounting software in the evenings. Probot begins by saving pieces of information designated by us, such as user information, company name, or data, to be saved later onto a config file that we have prepared. We have used an XML config file. Probot reads the XML file and then carries on with its daily operations from the Microsoft Dynamics CRM database. During these operations, we connected directly to the Microsoft SQL Server database instead of using the Microsoft Dynamics CRM interface. After the reading process during the operation, Probot sends an email to the users with Google Sheets so that they can manage previously transferred data or data that should be transferred again. Probot also makes sure if there are prior data entries that need to be retransferred. If the data entry is in the list, Probot adds the data entry to the daily transfer list. Probot then saves each data entry on this list to Logo. Here, we are saving each operation in Logo in order to protect data from potential problems. It means that after each operation is ended, Logo logs out and logs in again. After the completion of all checks, an informative email is sent to the users. The main purpose of the informative mail is making the users check if there are some operations done earlier in the day, giving the check numbers to the users, and also, users can manage the checks those they want to retransfer or rearrange. They can manage these checks by clicking the link on the mail. The most critical process in this check transfer operation besides the main flowchart is the second process. The second process has its own flowchart. The process in this step is opening a Logo session for each check and making sure whether there is a previously opened check to control it from the system. We are doing this to make sure not to write checks over and over, because we are not actually writing any information into the Microsoft Dynamics CRM system. Here, we created a control mechanism by establishing a database belonging to Probot. If the check has previously been transferred, we don't transfer it again. If the check wasn't transferred before, we complete the required steps for this check, create a log registry for the transferred checks, and finalize the process. The system works like this for each check we transfer. Now let's see this live with Probot. Probot will first read the config file when we choose to make it work directly after opening the project. After going over the config file, Probot gets the user information and passwords in Windows credential and continues with its task. Now we are initializing. It has started reading the data now. After going over the config file, Probot checks the previous entries in Google Sheets to detect any duplication. After checking for duplicate data, Probot establishes a database connection and creates its list. Now it logs in and it will add every single registry in its list as a check in Logo. There is no need to wait for the checks here. It will process the checks one by one. We can immediately skip this step. Probot is now processing the last check. After saving the last check, it will close Logo and log off. Probot sent this email after processing the last check. There is summary information in the email. It is about the products that have been registered in Logo when the check was being processed. We add the check code of former duplicated checks that are transferred inside this section, and these codes will be saved in Google Sheets. Is processed section will be filled when Logo runs the next time, because the receivables group will then be processed once more. The logic of the loop is like this. Probot checks if there is duplicated data, and following the finalization of the process, it deletes the information in Google Sheets. This way, it doesn't need to check again whether there are checks in the queue or not.